Good Saturday morning from the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me today. Just wanted to bring you along today on my next project, which is laying the foundation walls to pour my monolithic pour for my outbuilding. And so I am going to give you a quick overview of what I did yesterday. A friend of mine came over and gave me a hand, and he's coming over in a few minutes to help me today as well, so hopefully we'll get most of this framed. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Alright, so the footings we did prior to my greenhouse project, which you can watch if you check out my channel, you'll see where I did a greenhouse. Yesterday I came in and tried to get everything squared up, and I laid the two plates for the foundation walls and got everything Tapcon down. I used 2 3/4 inch Tapcons and put those about every pair of those every 2 feet. We're also going to brace the base as well. This upper portion is only going to be about 20 inches deep, so not a lot of pressure there. And then it drops down here to about a 34-36 inch wall, so there'll be, I'll start putting the ties in there. And then on the lowest section, as you can see here, I've got a wall that's a little over 4 feet, so that's going to have, I think, about 3 runs, two to 3 runs of ties. I haven't decided yet, probably 2. And so what I'm doing is just studding it off on 16-inch centers using screws, so I can take everything back out and strip the forms and use the material later when I start building. And I'm going to have the inside of the wall, everything finished in the sense of the forms. The top of the forms will be the finished height of the wall. I'll probably allow the outside walls that I do here, the studs, to run long, so I'm not cutting a lot of my 8-foot studs. I haven't decided yet. Over the construction, I'll probably use lots of those short studs, so it's not a major problem. But as you can see here, I've got the steps. The step footing came out really nicely, and the keyway, everything, got it all cleaned out yesterday. So got rained out yesterday evening. Would have got more done, but I'm hoping to, by the end of the day, have this pretty much formed up, or a good portion of it. I'll be at least working on the outside form walls and getting it tied. So I will bring you along later in the day to kind of show you the process. But like I said, it's not that the most difficult part is laying out the plates. I just did a simple straight wall over there, and then a 6-8-10 because it's only a 14-foot wall. I haven't checked the diagonals yet because I have a big pile of dirt there and it's hard to get a diagonal on it. So when I get the inside wall framed up, I'm going to check the diagonals. Hopefully they're not going to be too far out. If they are, I might have to do a little bit of adjustments. But yeah, that's kind of where we are at, and I will bring you along a little later in the day. Okay, a couple hours later, we've got everything on the inside wall framed. Getting ready now to just put the boards on it to get it ready for the, obviously the concrete will go against the boards. Drop down here and put a 4-inch drop for an 8 feet wide for a doorway, so the cement floor will go right out on top of the wall. Again, we can see this. Some of this I showed you earlier this morning. We had it all done. So we're just getting now ready to board up. Shouldn't take that long. And get that all done. So that's going to be about a 22-inch, 23 or 20, yeah, about 21, 22 inches high. So it shouldn't take much to support that. Just a deep footing. Kind of walk around it. So I'll come back when we get it boarded up and get the ties in. All right, we are now at the stage of finishing. We just finished up the inside wall. It's all boarded up now, as you can see. I just used little Brad nailer. Ron, he's giving me a hand, my neighbor. Check out his YouTube channel, the Tennessee Stockmaker. The best stockmaker that I've ever seen. What we did is we actually bent wires, and I'll come to the other side so you can have a look at what we've done. They're just angled around the interior studs at 16 inches on centers and pulled through, and we're going to put the stud in and just twist those around, and that will hold the wall into place. Hopefully that's the plan. So we've got, you can see down across there, we've got 2 runs. So they're going to be, like I said, 16-inch squared. Normally ties, oops, there we go. Normally ties are 2 feet on center, but this one is going to be 16 inches on center. And again, you can kind of see what we have here. So everything's boarded in, and we've leveled everything. All I did is just use my 6-foot level and leveled it around, and everything seemed to be pretty good. Normally you could use a transit or a water level on the house. That's what I plan on doing. And so yeah, we're ready now to start the outside wall, finish it up, drop this down as I've noted. It's where the floor is going to come out in the doorway. So we're all good to go. Come back in a bit. Okay, it's a little later in the day. I'm going to call it a day. I guess it's coming up on 8 o'clock. I have got this back wall framed. I just left the 2x4s long. Now it still needs to be braced, but I got the rebar, 2 runs of rebar in here. You can see here. Also got this studded here off, ready to start going down this wall here, the long wall of 20 feet. But this was the deep wall, the one with the most reinforcement, and so it was nice to get this in. It's got to, like I said, got to be braced and put the whalers in and whatnot on the outside. One of the other things I did, and I'll let you know how this works out, instead of just going with regular trying to find some type of a tie, what I did is I got some wire that you use for fencing. I just went to Tractor Supply, got some wire that you use for fencing, so it's fairly heavy gauge, and I made the wire about 42 inches long, and I bent it around the stud, kind of made the shape of the stud, and put it, I'll just come around the other side so you can see what this looks like. Sorry, I'm still hanging upside down. So it makes a C right around it, so one piece, and it comes through out the other side, and then on this stud I just wrap it around. And so I put spacers in and tighten it up, take it a little bit beyond what the thickness of the wall is, 8 inches, down about like 7.5, 7.75. So when the wall has a cement in it, it'll stretch and tighten everything up. And so, yeah, that's what it looks like. I've got about another day or so, I'd say, to finish the framing of this before we can pour. So it's about be a total of 2.5 to 3 days to do all the form work for the walls, which is, you know, it's not bad. I mean, ideally, obviously, if you had lots of money and you wanted to just hire somebody to come in and do it, but then you would be out probably several $1,000s. And so I had the wood. I can reuse this wood when I start building the rest of the building. And so yeah, we went ahead and just framed everything up, and I'll just use the boards to board up the outside of the building, and the studs, use them to build the building as well. So that's where we are today, and this is Saturday, so I'll probably not pick this up until Monday evening. I've got to go back to my regular job next week, and so I will try to keep you apprised, do a little bit throughout the week to show you what it looks like to finish up, and give you a finished video, and then hopefully when we get it poured and start stripping, I'll show you what it looks like. So I'll pick it up next day. See you later. Okay, I'm gonna do the last video before I pour. I'll do that in a separate one, but I've got the forms now all pretty much set and braced. The only thing I need to do is I'm going to go in a few spots, especially on that heavier wall, and brace the bottom of the studs. I don't think they're going to go anywhere. We've got all of the studs tied off with wire every 16 inches at about 16 inches off the main footing. You can see back here I straightened the wall using a 2x8, so you can look down across that, the wall is nice and straight. Use the 2x8, braced it down to a tree down there, braced back up here. The wall is, like I said, really solid overall. With back here we got double braces, so, or double wires every 16 inches on center, and the code is about 2 when you're doing those. So that's all the 4 foot plus wall, that's all double braced. Everything is straight now. I've anchored everything so you can see that. Put those intermediate anchors in here to keep the wall spread. I did that on both sides. And back here on this side we actually had these stops that are in the doorway. So, and it's a short wall, only 18 inches, so it's not going to move anywhere. If it does, we can always straighten it right after we pour. But there you have it. That is a studded in pour. It took us about 3 days to stud it up. Another few hours to brace. Takes obviously a lot longer than ready forms or forms that you have all ready to go. Also, I put in 2 lines of rebar in the 32 inch to 4 foot section. That's got rebar every 16 inches. The shorter walls I did not put rebar in because of, like I said, there's a short. I just brought the rebar in onto those 18 inch, 20 inch walls. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to post this video and then I'll do another one when we get it poured and start stripping. So as always, I appreciate you joining me today. I know there's probably a lot of places you could be, but I am the next step closer to starting the outbuilding as far as the actual construction. So stay with me. Hopefully in the next week or so we should be at it. See you next time.